Hello again, 3 days in a row. That is because today is my pool day. So, here today, we decided to do conventional deadlifts instead of sumo deadlifts. So, I'm just doing some warm-up sets to start with before I get into 3 working sets. So I worked my way up to 170 kilos today. I think I class the first 3 as warm-ups. So this is warm-up, then I do another 2 sets. So just go work my way up with the plates. So 100 will be next, and then 140. Then I went straight from 140 to my 170, which is my heaviest working set, and I did 2 back-off sets at 160. So, anyone that's listened to me before will know that I'm not a great fan of my technique with these conventional deadlifts. So, I've been doing sumo because I found it better on my lower back. But I've been determined to give these another try. So, I've found some better cueing that is helping me keep my back from rounding. You will notice it does round slightly in some of the lifts, but not to a major extent. And also, I'm happy to say, not to the extent that I was feeling it in my lower back. So, I was going away from conventional deadlifts with sore back for 2 days. But today, I seem to have found a good technique. A little bit of a cue sitting down into the lift just before I pull, and I don't do it every time, but that was a lot better than what I had been doing. So I don't know whether I'm going to stick with conventional or sumo, or whether I'll just keep going between the two and try and get better technique with both. Might do like a couple of weeks of each, because the weeks soon fly by, and as I'm doing it for the hypertrophy benefits more than the strength gains, I think I've got 6 reps here on 170. So yeah, because I'm doing it for hypertrophy and not strength, I think I can play about between the two a bit more, because I'm using similar weights with both. I don't think I'm not really any stronger with either of them in a way. Sort of similar strength levels. It was just more about feeling it in my lower back. And yeah, they felt good today. So if they continue to go like that, then I may stick with the conventional. We'll see. Anyway, I'm waffling a load of rubbish as usual. So I think, what's this? What's that? I think this is my last set. 160. I did 6 reps 170, 6 reps 160, and then I think I got 7 reps. I reckon I could have got 8, but the plan was to keep 1 to 2 reps in reserve on these lifts and not go to complete failure, because the idea of this is to try and manage my overall fatigue. Like I keep saying, I'm doing this for hypertrophy, and I've got to keep that in my head and not think about ego lifting. So yeah, overall enjoyed the deadlifts today. So I'm going into pull-ups. Now I've been getting quite heavy with my pull-ups, and I usually do a wide grip pull-up, and I can get 10 reps. But because of my elbow, yes, the dreaded elbow, I decided to go with a narrower grip. And also, the most important part of this, from my hypertrophy point of view, is getting that stretch at the bottom. I'm finding if I go right the way up to my full range, that I'm really feeling it in my elbow. So I am getting a bit shorter than what I could do at the top, so I'm not fully contracting. Which I'm led to believe that isn't so essential with this type of movement from a hypertrophic benefit. The stretch at the bottom is the most important bit, and the time under tension. So I've added a bit of weight here, 10 kilos to this set. First set was more a bit of a warm-up to get the movement down. 10 kilos, 20 kilos, then I do a back off, 2 back offs, I think, 10, and then body weight again. More to get the volume in, and like I say, I'm taking it easy with the elbow. I don't want to go too crazy just yet. If I don't make too much gains with these movements, I'm not that bothered at the moment. Well, obviously I would like to, but it's more important that as you can see here, I'm tending to go not as high as what I would normally. But yeah, most important thing is to rehab my elbow, but still get some training in. So I'm being overly cautious, or I wouldn't say being overly, I'd say I'm just being cautious with everything, and just trying to get a good contraction and eccentric movements and feel it in my lats or rhomboids or whatever muscles I'm trying to work with the exercises. So today, single arm seated rows, trying to get a stretch, and once again I'll load the weight a bit from what I was doing before. I did 3 sets of 12. Did I push them really hard? Probably not. Forgot my strap on here, and I usually put the strap so my grip started going more so on this first rep than I get it for the next one. But yeah, I put the effort in, but I am so cautious of rehabbing my elbow first before I start trying to really push myself. But it still felt good, felt it in the intended muscles. It's just important to try and keep that emphasis on my goals and not just lifting as much weight from point A to point B, because that is not what I'm trying to do. My favourite back exercises are dumbbell rows, and I do like barbell rows, but I think that is what was causing my elbow to get worse, because I was going up to 50 kilo dumbbell rows for 12 reps, and I do like the stretch at the bottom, but I was bringing my elbow quite high. And I'm thinking about it now and looking back at it, I think maybe there was no need for me to bring my elbow as high as what I was doing. I don't think I was getting any benefit for my lats from doing it. So when I will be doing them again in my next pull workout, but I won't be going nowhere near as heavy. My idea is to stay a bit lighter, go higher reps, because I know by doing them with lower weight and higher reps, I can still get a good stimulus in my lats. And then I'm going to try playing about my technique a bit, see where I feel it the most, see if I can reduce the range of the motion at the top, not bring my elbow quite as high above my body, because after watching some videos and doing a bit of research into it, they say you don't necessarily need to worry about bringing your elbow that high when you're doing the rows. It's more about the stretch than the contraction sort of thing. So yeah, that's my plan. We'll see how that goes in my next pull workout, because I've got 2 push, 2 pull and 2 leg workouts planned. I'm not necessarily doing them in a week. I'm not working on a weekly basis. I'm working on a rest when I want to basis. The plan is to, I did a little bit of clip of the lovely weather we were getting around here in the UK today. It was fantastic weather. Sunshine was out. Wasn't meant to be like that, but it was lovely. So my plan is, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, my plan is to keep the rows in and just play back the technique and see how the stimulus gets with it. So basically I was saying about not working on a 7-day basis. It's push-pull legs. The idea is then I'll have a rest day, then do push-pull legs again, but I've got A and B workouts. But if I feel like having a rest day in between push or pull or legs and pull or whatever, then I will do. If I feel like doing some other work on a rest day and I'm up to it, I've got the time, say, and what I mean by other work, I mean like functional work or fitting in some extra work, then I will. This is just to give me a lot more flexibility with my training. It allows me to have breaks when I need them, because one thing I've realised after having a week off is that I'm not taking my rest period seriously enough. I'm training too often, and I'm not seeing the gains that I should be seeing, and I think it's because I'm training the muscles too much too regularly and not giving them a chance to grow. Because I know I can get a lot stronger than what I am, because I have been stronger than I am when I was younger. I know I'm a lot older now, but I was a lot stronger. And another thing I know, the difference is now I don't eat like I used to. When I was younger, I would eat constantly, anything and everything. I would just eat. And I was probably about 6 kilos heavier than what I am now, but muscle. And I was very strong. I was benching a lot more than what I do nowadays when I was younger. But yeah, I don't eat like I did then. I don't have the appetite like I did. I still have what I'd say is a good appetite, but not like I had when I was younger. Anyway, these are called humble rows because they humble you, because you can't use that much weight. I've got 22.5 kilos here. Well, this is another exercise where I've found bringing my elbows up too high, I feel it in my bad elbow. So I'm concentrating here on the stretch at the bottom again. A lot of these exercises, you need to concentrate on the stretch. But yeah, this is sort of playing about with exercises so that I can continue to train around an injury, really. But yeah, I don't think I need to bring my elbows as high as I am here, because I'm just engaging more more muscles than what are intended, if that makes sense. So yeah, not that matters, getting a bit of extra work in, but yeah, I don't need to bring them as high. So I mean, looking back, this is a good thing about recording. Looking back here, I think I could probably easily just drop them down another inch or two, but they felt okay with this range of motion. So any higher than that, then I was feeling it in my my elbow. And what I usually just try to squeeze my shoulder blades together at the top. So I'm doing that less with those. So some dumbbell shrugs here. So 40 kilo weights. Usually I'd go up to the 50s, but once again, I'm thinking of my elbow, because believe it or not, if you're not careful, I do feel it in my elbow. It's amazing how when you have a little niggle, how many different exercises you actually feel it in. And like I said earlier, I'm being cautious. So I think I did 3 or 4 sets. I can't remember. 15 reps, I think. I like shrugs. I like doing Smith machine shrugs. I like doing cables behind the back shrugs, and I love dumbbell shrugs. Yeah, really help the traps. Get a good stimulus out of these. I tried to keep them in front of the body slightly rather than to the side, and then pulling up and back. And another good one is on the Smith machine with a wider grip, and you're trying to pull the traps up and inwards, so you get a slightly different stimulus from the two. So and another one is I'll go closer grip. So there's excuse me, 4 exercises I tend to do for traps directly, which is wide grip Smith, narrow grip Smith, behind the back cables, and these dumbbell shrugs. And I love them all. But I do tend to do them at the end all the time. So sometimes I'm a bit worn out, but I'll probably cheat a bit quicker than I could. So obviously bicep curls, so these are a bit of a, let's say, I want to train my arms a lot harder than I am training them, but the elbow is holding me back. So I'm just sort of I'm going to the point where I'm using a weight which I would say I can easily get 12 reps here, but I'm getting a good contraction and the eccentric is nice and controlled, which is the main part of concentrating here. And usually I would fully lock out. Now, once again, I'm led to believe that maybe I don't need to do that for a hypertrophy point of view. So I'm giving it a try. Usually I'd lock out, which makes it a bit harder, but because of the tendon there, I'm stretching it out and I'm putting it under load, and it's not actually the muscle belly that is doing the work, so I don't need to go to that full range with them. So I'm gonna give them a try like this for a while and see how I get on with them. And as the elbow improves, hopefully I'll stick the weight up. But for this is 30 kilos. It's not a massively difficult weight. I really want to be going up heavier and doing so in the eight rep range instead of 12. But for now, this will have to do. Like I say, it's a bit of persevering around an injury to allow me to carry on training. So I'm just training around it, really. It has inhibited me a lot, I think, because like with the dumbbell rows, on my left-hand side, I can still use the 50s, do 12 nice reps with it, no problem. But I tried doing it with the right-hand side, and my elbow hurts that much that it's just, they're completely sloppy. It's like a different person doing the exercise. So yeah, and I don't want to try doing them until I'm ready. So I just come in here and did some preacher curls once again. I'm not going, I'd go fully locked out on there, but I'm stopping short and controlling that eccentric and squeezing at the top. 12.5 kilos is all it is. Don't need a super heavy weight. And I just do 3 or 4 sets of 12 reps. And that's all there is to it. Single arm preacher curls. I like this exercise. I was going to do high cable curls, but I'm trying to just training smart at the moment, doing things that I feel a bit safer to not put too much strain on my elbow and still get some training in. So yeah, not trying to break any PRs here. One thing I do find with any type of arm exercise, really, you see a lot of people in the gym using silly heavy weights and they're just swinging them up. They're using their shoulders, they're using every other muscle in their body to get that weight up, just to try and look cool because they've got a big weight and they're curling it. But it's not really impressive if you're not letting your biceps do the weight. And I think a lot of these people, you give them a light weight like this and tell them to do the exercise slow and controlled, and they can't do it. So it's more about technique and controlling a weight, getting more out of lighter weight. That is what I'm trying to achieve. Get as much as I can as lighter weight as possible, and only have to go up in weight to get more gains, really. The weight, the strength gains are plus side to hypertrophy training. They're not the number one goal for me. And I have to keep reminding myself that, because you get carried away and it's just like, yeah, I'll put more weight. And then you start looking back and the techniques started dropping off slightly or whatever. So trying to concentrate more on technique with all my exercises, whatever I'm doing, and trying to try different little cues and things to try and hit the muscles better with lighter weight, really. That is my goal, is to try to get more stimulus out of lighter weight, and then just go up in the weight as and when I really need to, when I've actually achieved my full rep range. So I've got rep ranges that I'm working for most things. With arm curls, sort of 15 is my maximum. I want to work between 8 to 15 rep range. Is quite a large rep range, and that's only because of the injury. If not, that would be 8 to 12 rep range. I wouldn't go above 12. So really here, I mean, I'd be going up. I want to go up in the weight, but I'm just letting my giving my elbow a chance before. So we'll see how that goes, and then I'll increase when I feel the time is right. Anyway, I don't think I've got much more left to say. I've waffled on for 20 odd minutes. Probably no one really wants to hear all of my waffle, but it's nice to try and put some context to the training rather than just having you look through loads of training of me doing things and everyone, why you do this, why you do that. Put a bit of context to it, why I do the things that I do. This is it's difficult for me to do less exercises on a split because I was used to doing what they call a typical bro split and training back, legs, shoulders, arms, chest once a week, and that always worked well for me when I was younger and that. But I'd have chest pain for 4 or 5 days, legs would ache for 5 or 6 days, and that was what I was trying to work around. Not getting that pain for a long period of time, so it's difficult to hold back and not do more exercises on certain things, but it's working well. I still get a good stimulus. Let's see how it goes. Onwards and upwards, as they say. So I will leave it with you there. I think the video is going to end soon anyway. Thank you very much for your support and watching and taking the time out of your day to watch me train. Salute, peace, until the next time. Bye bye then.